Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Indie Zone. My name is Kathy. We are continuing to evaluate documents that were recently released by the City of Moscow, Idaho, from the Moscow Police Department's investigatory files, never before seen by the public. And today we're going to be looking at a report from Dustin Blaker. He is a sergeant, or he was at the time. He is now a captain. This report was dated January 4th, 2023, and it documents the transportation of a DNA profile from Idaho to Othram Labs in Texas. And I'll leave you to review what this document says. But what I want to zero in on at this time, because the issue of the sheath where this DNA was found, that the state of Idaho contended was Mr. Koberger's, was found on the bed on the third floor in Madison Mogen's room. According to Detective Brett Payne, the lead detective on the case, he describes that after he and Sergeant Blaker arrived on scene at approximately 4:00 p.m. on November 13th, 2022, that it was first responder Corbin Smith, Officer Smith, who escorted him personally. I'm speaking of Detective Brett Payne, through the property, including up to the third floor. And there was always something that was a little confusing, in my opinion, not only to myself but other people, as to Detective Payne's statement to the effect that later he noticed that the sheath was visible from the doorway on the bed. And there was a question as to how was the sheath found? Who found the sheath? Was it someone from Moscow Police Department, when you consider that there were several law enforcement officials from Moscow Police Department? They were, of course, the first responding agency who had jurisdiction over this matter, because 1122 King Road was located in Moscow. So the question was it possibly Officer Nunez, who was a first responding officer? Was it Officer Smith, who was a first responding officer? Could it have been Officer Warner? Could it have been Sergeant Gunderson? All of them stated in different reports that we have seen that they were on property. They were on site. They went up to the third floor at some point within the first few minutes after the Moscow Police Department arrived on scene. We now know conclusively who found the sheath by looking at this report of Captain Blaker. It says here, paragraph 2, after getting evidence checked into the lab, I signed for a DNA profile which had been generated by the Idaho State Police Forensic Lab. This DNA profile was collected from a sheath which was found by Idaho State Police investigators from District 2 during the initial search of 1122 King Road on November 13th. The sheath had been transported to the lab by ISP, Idaho State Police troopers. We now know conclusively who found the sheath. It wasn't any of the initial responding officers from the city of Moscow. It wasn't until after ISP arrived, the Idaho State Police arrived, and apparently, according to Sergeant Blaker, it was representatives from the Idaho State Police who found this sheath that was such an important piece of evidence in this case. If you have any comments or questions, please leave them here. And if you have not already subscribed to the channel, I would greatly appreciate it that you do so, because it will notify you as we produce new content. This is Kathy. Thank you for joining us today.